Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 career mode here on the channel. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we start a brand new round of the playoffs here from Texas Motor Speedway. A very interesting and diverse round of the playoffs. We start with the worst track on the calendar, but then we go to a wild card of Talladega. Then we have another wild card right after that in the elimination race at the Charlotte Roval, which is going to be a very exciting one, I think, here for this round of 12, just in general, aside from Texas. This track, as we came into the Speedway, more of a survive approach we're coming into this one with. I'm expecting to lack a lot of pace. This Kaulig machine, our weak point this season is mile-and-a-half circuits, and you combine that with a mile-and-a-half circuit, but on top of that, the worst track on the calendar. I'm not quite sure exactly what to expect. Maybe two negatives will make a positive. We'll have to wait and see. But getting some laps under our belt here in practice on Saturday morning and just hoping for the best out of this Top Golf machine here now. But even if we come out of today below the cut line, we come into this first race of the round of 12 below the cut line. If we come out of it below the cut line, I'm not too concerned based off of course, how far below we are, because we have two good opportunities coming up there with Talladega and Charlotte Road Course there to make up some ground. So we focus in on qualifying nonetheless here a few moments later on Saturday afternoon now with a goal of a 30.079 to beat and aim for here as we go down through 1 and 2. You want to get right down towards the apron without actually hitting it, of course, and then open up the wheel on the exit of 2 down the backstretch. And then 3, you want to be the same situation, right down on that white line right here as close as you can. Obviously not close enough right there. You can get way closer than that as we exit turn 4 down this front stretch for the final time through the tri-oval. It's going to be a little bit off the goal by a whole half second actually, and that's going to put us P27, and I don't feel like I could have improved very much. Maybe at the absolute maximum another tenth. So P27 is where we are set up to start here in Texas, but all Kaulig cars as usual struggling on the mile-and-a-half. Haley as well as Smith down the order as well. You see the rest of the qualifying efforts here from everybody else. Up on the front row, it's going to be Chris Buescher, a non-playoff driver, joined by William Byron, Hamlin, Larson, Blaney in the top 5, Bowman rounding out the top 10. Xfinity Truck Series, they were racing as well. Nick Sanchez picked up the victory in the Truck Series at Bristol, as well as you can see the rest of the order there. The Xfinity Series, actually, they have just kicked off their playoffs very recently, and Allmendinger goes back-to-back wins in the first 2 races of the playoffs here. They were already doing their Talladega race, so Allmendinger obviously locked into the next round of the playoffs here. Now it's time to go racing Sunday in Texas.
We're kicking off a new round of the playoffs today in Texas. The round of 12 is set to kick off as big names still are in search of that first win of the year.
If you told me at the start of the year that both Logano and Larson wouldn't have a win, yet I would have thought you were crazy, Rick, but it has quickly become a reality.
We saw Hamlin finally win last week, though, guys. Just shows you how quick things can turn around. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw both of them win in this round.
Thanks for the hard work this weekend. We know this is probably going to be, honestly, the roughest race of our playoffs, so it's just about surviving today.
Yeah, just hang on as much as you can. We will get aggressive on strategy today if there's a chance to do so.
You hear our radio right there with Stevie Speed, so kind of, laying down the line of we will be aggressive on strategy if we need to. This is the most cursed stories of the race of the season. All of the driver pictures do not match the driver names. These will be changed for next season, by the way. Do not worry too much about that. But I don't like changing the part-time ones that are always changing every race with the driver and whatnot. So nonetheless, getting ready to roll here. Grant Enfinger back behind the wheel of that 42 car again here. Today as the green flag is out, we are rolling from P27. Chris Buescher, William Byron lead the field to the green flag. Ryan Preece recently eliminated there from the round of 16 there just behind us. Of course, he got eliminated. Michael McDowell ended up eliminated. There was no big surprise elimination expectations, though, in that round of 16. Everybody that we expected to move on, well, they moved on. I mean, you could maybe say we're a curveball, of course, being the last driver into the playoffs on points, but no one big time is out here now as we come through 3 and 4 on this inside line. Denny Hamlin already to the point. He didn't even start on the front row and he's already leading this race. Is that a sign of things to come for the most recent new winner of the Cup Series? Hamlin, winless all throughout the regular season, picked up his first win of the season last episode in Bristol and comes in hot into Texas. Of course, that leaves just Larson and Logano, those what you expect to be multi-time winners, still winless on the season. And I'm going to use this moment right here to talk about something I think I've discovered in the files of the game that I'm going to fix immediately for next episode. So Kyle Larson, and I also noticed this for Tyler Reddick's AI in the files, it almost seems like their driver ratings basically make them run the high line more often, and we saw Larson doing that a lot in Bristol, and it kind of caught my eye and suspicion, and I went and started digging a bit deeper than I usually do into the driver rating files of Kyle Larson, and I noticed that his basically highline rating was a higher number than everybody else, and he was also running the highline a lot. So I think the higher the number, the more they run the highline. Tyler Reddick was the only other name that had a similar rating to him, and I was expecting that because I was like, who else would run the highline in the Cup Series? Tyler Reddick. So that is a huge disadvantage to the AI drivers that get something like that, because the top line out of Bristol or even here out of Texas is a disadvantage. You just saw Tyler Reddick going backwards on the outside lane. So nonetheless, long story short, as I am struggling right now in traffic contact with the 17 of Busher, who was on pole, now outside of the top 20. But basically, yeah, I'm going to fix that for next race and put them on an equal playing field. And that also could explain why Kyle Larson has not won a race this season when he's had the speed to do so, but he continues to throw away wins because his AI is basically programmed to run the outside and slow himself down from what I've found. So I'm going to try and fix that. And we'll see how that works in the next episode or two, if it actually makes a true difference or not. Lap 10 of the stage, down to P20 and kind of starting to lose connection to the cars in front of me. I mean, overall, a good first 10 laps. We've gone from 27th to 20th, but now as the run goes on, I'm starting to struggle here. The caution, however, is going to come out for the first time here today in Texas. And look at this very split strategy, which is a perfect opportunity for the number 16 team.
Okay, we're going to stay out here. I need you to fight for everything.
You hear the radio right there. So we are going to stay out because there's only going to be a handful of laps left in the stage. Hamlin would elect to pit, but several drivers, including us, are going to remain on the racetrack and try to make it to the end of stage one and get some points here. Now, points so crucial in the stages to advance into the next round of the playoffs. Hamlin, the first car on fresh tires, 10th place on the outside row. Green flag is out. We're back racing alongside the number 3 of Austin Dillon. 5 laps of racing in stage 1 remain. Can we get stage points? We were nowhere close to being in position to get stage points. We don't have the speed to do it here today, but strategy can always overcome speed, especially in late restarts in a stage or in the race, etc. Now, as we go down this back straightaway, the 2 of Cindric gets clear down this back stretch. We'll dive in behind him, down into 3. Pole sitter Chris Buescher back up into the mix. We know he's lacking a lot of speed here today. It's weird how he goes from the fastest in qualifying to a, 25th to 30th place car in the race. Absolutely lacking speed in that Fastenal RFK machine. Now Harrison Burton going to the 10 car next season, of course, up into now 4th. Almirola will, of course, be doing that trade. If you haven't paid attention or if you're new here before, we have driver roster changes as part of this career mode. That's more of a story-based career mode that we kind of focus it on. Denny Hamlin is already here, and he's already passing me. There he goes. That 11 FedEx Toyota Camry is on a different level here today, but he would get stuck in traffic. And here comes the 9 of Elliott. Here comes the 12 as well of Ryan Blaney. I'm going to cut him off, though, say no way. But unfortunately, I wash up on the exit of 2, and that just opens the door anyways here. Now we're down to P6, Kyle Busch, Bubba Wallace, hot on our rear view bumper, or rear view mirror, as we go into 3, up the inside of the 3. Hamlin's back out in front, leading the race over Chase Elliott. Cindric there is going to lose a spot to Ryan Blaney. me look at the 8 of Kyle Busch and Chastain go breezing past myself and Dylan. We're down to P7 as the final lap of stage 1 gets underway. Through the center of the corner, Dylan tries to fight back on my outside. I'm going to slide up and clear him. The 22 coming high, the 23 coming low, split 3 wide in the middle. We are P8 as we head down the backstretch now. We got Dylan and Jones just behind us as we go down into 3 for the final time in stage 1. Dylan way up the track, Jones to the inside of him. Denny Hamlin exits turn 4, and he's still going to win stage 1 nonetheless after starting P10 on the restart. Jones and myself side by side, and he barely gets us at the line, but more importantly, instead of a 20th to 25th place ending in stage 1, we get P10 and get a single point. Barely shy of 2 points, but a single point could make the difference in us making the next round of 8 or not. So we got to be aggressive and make these calls. Everybody's still going to come into the pits here, so that's another opportunity to save some track position as well. They're all going to take 4 tires and fill it up on fuel. So we're going to enter our pit box in the 10th position. We'll gain 1 spot over the 43 team in the pits, and we'll now restart in the 9th spot here now as we are back underway for the start of stage 2. Denny Hamlin, does anybody have anything for him here today? That 11 car is looking feisty. We, however, what is the opposite of feisty? I don't even know, but it's whatever that is what we are today. Nonetheless, through 1 and 2 on the inside, here comes Kyle Larson. Came up short of stage points. Now, Larson and Logano, those are 2 big names we've talked about all season long going winless, but we're going to talk about them again for a different reason, because of the fact that they've gone winless this season. That puts them in a really rough spot in the playoff situation. They are both going to have a hard time advancing into the round of 8, just like we are, and then if they can make it to the round of 8, they're going to have a really hard time advancing to the final 4, but we'll have to wait and see, you know, what happens between those 2 drivers. But I wouldn't be surprised if they both find themselves 10 plus points out of the playoffs or out of the round of 12 following today here in Texas. Up the track on the exit of turn 2, nearly into the outside wall, but we would continue to struggle and fall backwards. All the cars that were trying to make up the positions lost from that previous restart are now getting us. There goes Austin Dillon. He had passed us. Here comes the 24 of William Byron up my inside. That's going to put us down to now P16. And you can see I just have no speed. I am lacking it so hard in this 16 machine. Here comes the 20 of Christopher Bell. This will be his last race in the Jimmy Buffett Margaritaville livery tribute there. But he goes by on the inside. Nonetheless, thank you again, D-Money, for whipping up that paint scheme. Looked absolutely fantastic as usual. But now, down to 17th place, here comes Michael McDowell as well in our rear view mirror, and I'm actually a little bit sideways there on the exit of 4, and that opens the door for the 34 to go around the outside, bringing Brad Kozlowski as well, and that's going to put us down to P19 if Kozlowski can complete the pass, and he's going to do it really easily even when I'm on the preferred lane. So just not good so far here in Texas. As we go down into 3, you can see the gap continuing to build in front of us now as Hamlin continues to lead the way as a crash on the exit of turn 4. Eric Jones was stopped in the wrong direction. Truex caught a piece of it, and the caution's going to fly. Jones appears to have blown a tire, and just like stage 1, it's going to be a late restart, and again, split strategy. So you already know we're staying out in an attempt to get stage points. Now, by the time I would decide to stay out, the strategy would change, and Ty Dillon would be the only one that would actually join me in staying out. I didn't realize this. I thought we had about 6, 7, 8 guys still staying out with us. I was completely wrong. We're going to go green with 3 laps to go in stage 2, leading the way over the 11 and the 9, the 2 fastest cars here today, but the 11's just out in front by a long shot. So our chances of getting stage points in stage 2, although less laps on the restart, compared to stage 1, it's still a lot less of a chance of stage points because these guys with 4 fresh tires only have 1 car to hold them up instead of about 9 cars. So we go down into 3 and 4, 2 to go at the line, and stage 2, Hamlin cruises by on the outside in that FedEx Toyota Camry now as he heads down this front stretch. He takes the lead of this race. Here comes Chase Elliott. I'm just going to protect the bottom. That's really all I can do and hope for the best at this point. Logano, Bubba Wallace, non-playoff driver, goes through. Here comes the playoff contender, though, of William Byron up the inside down this backstretch, and it would just continue to happen. Through 3, way up the track here on the exit of 4. Enfinger having a good top 10 run here in the 42. Bell goes by on the inside as well. White flag in stage 2. Behind us it's Cindric as well as Ty Gibbs. That's 9th and 10th right there as we go down into turn 1, trying to defend for that 10th position to get any stage point possible that we can. But Cindric goes around on the top. We continue to struggle with grip, and now we're getting split 3 wide through the middle. There goes Gibbs, Dillon, Kyle, Bush, down to P12 we go. Chastain up the inside, McDowell to the top, Kozlowski, Larson, Blaney all coming up in our rear view mirror. Blaney's going to get us by the time we get back to the line. It's P16 as Hamlin wins stage 2. He sweeps the first 2 stages, and he continues to be on absolute fire after picking up that first win last episode of the season at Bristol there. Everybody's going to stay out this time except for myself and Ty Dillon. They only ran 3 laps, of course, on their tires and fuel. So now we're going to give up a bunch of track position in exchange for a bit of a tire advantage. I'm not feeling confident in the car, and I'm not feeling confident in the point situation when we leave this track here today, but obviously we won't find out until the end of lap 67 as the 3rd and final stage gets underway. Ryan Preece there on our inside. It's been a rough season, not only for Ryan Preece, but for Stuart Haas Racing as well. Just like the 2023 season in real life, with this 2023 mod, we have seen only Harvick from that SHR group advance into the playoffs. And of course, Harvick has had a way more successful season in this career mode than he has in real life. Winless in real life, has been in position to win a couple races, Phoenix, potentially Darlington as well. But in the game, it's been a completely different scenario. He has been on fire lately as well. Of course, he won the regular season finale, and then he went and won the playoff opener in the Southern 500 at Darlington Raceway. What a way to kick off the playoffs. He's got another special paid scheme, as you guys know. He's running a special scheme every race of the playoffs to finish off his career. So, you haven't seen it yet. D-Money whipped this one up, and then I got 2 more from Sanok on the way, but you will see his paint scheme before this episode ends, I can confirm, as I actually can see him from here. It's a bit of a yellow and red kind of Shell Pennzoil kind of car. As we go down into 3, continuing to put our slight 3-lap tire advantage to good use. 22 laps to go, we're passing our part-time teammate. Of course, we know next season we won't have a part-time teammate anymore. It'll be 2 full-time teammates of Volmendinger, as well as Daniel Hemrick, who just got announced in that 31 car in real life today, actually. So he'll be driving it in the career mode and real life. So I felt like we all saw it coming, so we kind of felt like it made sense to do it in the career mode too, as the roster changes are a bit of a collaborative effort in the career mode as well. A lot of the people that make paint schemes for me, Sanok, Cooper, as well as D-Money, we kind of use each other in terms of brainstorming the ideas for this career mode and where to take it with roster changes, new teams, etc., manufacturer changes, all this kind of crazy stuff that we're brainstorming for further down the line. Now, as I'm caught up behind this 99 freeway insurance machine of Suarez, freshly eliminated from the playoffs, of course, we had to beat him in, and we were the ones able to put him out, unfortunately, of that round of 16. As we're trying to fight up the inside of this 99, he was not making it easy for me, as we are up the inside through 3 and 4, lap 52, finally, we clear him. There's Kevin Harvick right there. You get a good look at the throwback now, but on the exit of 4, here comes Suarez fighting back to the inside. We continue side by side in these closing 15 laps in Texas Motor Speedway. Hamlin has led from start to wherever we are now, of course, lap 54. It's been unbelievable what he's done. A switch back there on the 99, and up the inside we go again. This time, hopefully, we can clear him. I say that, but no, he gets the edge on us as we exit turn 2. We continue down this backstretch, a little bit of contact there with the 99, and then finally through 3 and 4 we will clear him again. This time though, we don't slide up the track, but this time the caution comes out as we get 22nd place. So we're gonna all come into the pit lane with 14 laps, 13 laps to go. Do not be surprised if we lose track position here. What's likely to happen is the AI probably at this point will take 2 tires only. I am not confident at all, and we need some kind of advantage. So the idea is to exchange track position for 4 fresh tires. We give up 12 spots down to 34th place, but we got really fresh left side tires now compared to the AI. 10 laps remain here in Texas. Will that be enough to get, I would say, honestly, a top 20 and above would be a win kind of scenario for us here today. A bit of a slow launch right there. It's got Ryan Vargas up my inside, of course. He is making quite a few cup starts here late in the season. for that Three Friends Racing team. Riley Herbst in the middle there, down the back straightaway, right to the back of Zane Smith. His plans have been sorted. Of course, full-time in the Truck Series, we have his plans sorted out for Season 2, and they will not be linked to what his situation is in real life, but we know exactly what he will be doing. I will spoil them to an extent. I won't say where he's going, but I'll say he will be full-time in the Xfinity Series next season. But yeah, I won't spoil which team / car yet. But we are making these 4 tires work up the inside of everybody. 3 wide there on Suarez, as well as Chandler Smith up to 23rd. To the back bumper of the 14 will go to the inside. This will move us now up into 22nd. Haley Harvick just ahead, still 8 laps to go, and this race will pass Haley with these. We're now the best running Kaulig car once again. And to the back of that number 4 Shell Pennzoil machine, the throwback of Kevin Harvick will look up the inside. It's actually the gear wrench car. Did a really good job, D-Money did, on that one. Now as we come through 3, clearing Harvick really with no issues whatsoever. And just ahead, you got Grant Enfinger going at it with Alex Bowman. Another winless season so far for that 48 car. Another thing that's similar to real life. Of course, he missed the playoffs in real life and he's winless. We are seeing that here in this series. To the inside now of that 42 LMC machine, and then hopefully can slip up the inside of the Ally Financial machine as we go into 3, and yes, we will. So we are definitely making the right call here today by, taking those 4 tires on that last caution, because now it has put us up at a P17, passing Kurt Busch in his final start from Texas Motor Speedway. Now to the back of Brad Keselowski, we would get to approaching the final 2 laps. Denny Hamlin continuing to cruise to victory lane. At this point, he's just got to get back around one more time, as I'm struggling to find a way past the 6 car of Keselowski. Now to the inside as we head down into turn 1. Cindric and Gibbs all the way to the outside. We're 3 wide briefly. Keselowski not giving me a huge amount of room to work with, enough though as we head down this backstretch. He has got the run. We're gonna go down towards turn 3 behind the 6. Actually, get to the back of the 6. He checked up from the 2 of Keselowski, or of Cindric, sorry, his old car, and he's gonna go around into turn 3, contact with the 6, and the caution's gonna fly. But hold on, the race is gonna end because Hamlin had just crossed the line by literal feet, and the caution eventually came out, and that will end the race instead. So we will not get the final lap. The 2 checked up in front of the 6. It was a chain reaction. I ran into the back of the 6 after, and that would send him crashing into turn 3 and give us a 17th place result here from Texas. That was really an unfortunate and unexpected ending right there, to say the least. And we'll take a look. Yeah, the damage is at 26 points out after Texas. Larson out by 19. Truex out by 18. Logano is tied with his teammate of Ryan Blaney for the final spot there. But look how close those points get from Chastain all the way through Logano. Truex, Larson, myself, however, we have got a lot of work to do, and fortunately for us 3, we have the great equalizer of Talladega to bring us all back into the mix. You see the Truck Series playoff grid. Zane Smith, just talking about him recently, right now at the top of the board in the Truck Series grid. They got 2 races left before the final 4, and Allmendinger obviously locked in on Xfinity. You can see some huge gaps in Xfinity with some surprise names, of course, in the playoffs, not counting Sammy Smith. But on the Cup Series side, we just looked at it, but we'll end it the episode with checking out those points one more time. But yeah, we got some work to do going into Talladega. Hamlin, back-to-back victories after having a winless season. He is on fire, and that's going to wrap it up for me. I'll see you guys in the next one for Talladega, where hopefully we can have a little bit of luck on our side. I'll see you guys then. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, everybody.